What's going on, traders? I know what is going on in the SPY. We'll find out right here on Money Mitch. Stick around, guys. Welcome to it. It's time for Money Making Mitch. When investors need a story, we're going to the moon. Welcome to Money Mitch, where story is everything. I'm here to find you the next opportunity. It's all about the green hands. Now, we all know the bull market is here to stay. Money Mitch. What is going on out there, traders? Who has their big old elbow stuck on that sell button? It looks like it because the SPY is heading down there a little bit there. Let's take a look at the daily. We've been drawing out this kind of daily zone from 470s to 463s for a while now. You know, I kind of expected this sideways action. Today, when we started getting above that 470, I thought we would finally hold. Multiple times we've tried to get above this level. Had a nice little push right here, right out the open. But as you guys can see from these hourly charts, it just broke that right back down. That 468s would hold at least on that pullback. It would make sense at least if you kind of draw like a trend line on this hourly, like kind of gave above it, trying to grab that trend again. That's what I would want to see for sure. I don't want to see it come back down, let's say closer to 466. That would get me a little bit more on that uneasy day tomorrow. As long as we can hold here, then maybe try back towards 470s or just stay kind of choppy, 469 tomorrow. That's going to be looking for in the SPY. Let's take a look at the Qs. Qs are doing kind of the same thing. We got above that major level, which to me was at 400, and now we reject down below it. Let's see if we can get back above that tomorrow and see the Qs start pushing. Let's take a look at what sectors are moving up today. So from the open, you guys know I like to pay attention to that. We got energy moving on up about 0.88. You also got basic materials behind that. What was on the downside? The downside looks like technology. 2.54 from the open makes us really concerned. As you can see here, look at this hourly, how we kind of came into it, dropped, bounced, then came right back towards those lows. What are these stocks that are getting crushed? Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these. So some of these are like Asana. This was a monster IPO that came from like $20. I might even be looking for some puts on this tomorrow. As you guys can see, this one's getting crushed. Asana getting destroyed there. Doc and Digital and Holdings. There's a lot of these. These are not the charts you want to be looking at right now. You can see a lot of them kind of cracking. Even IonQ, a really strong kind of SPAC, really hard turnaround. Just be careful with that one. You're going to start seeing a lot of these start breaking down. And with that being said, watch out, guys. Definitely, this is not the market where I want to be trying to call bottoms. Just because whenever you're seeing a lot of these charts just kind of coming down on you, that's when I try not to start picking bottoms. I want to stick with stocks that are actually trending on the upside and holding trend even on weekdays like we saw today. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at what we saw out there. In consumer cyclical, there was some strength in the auto and truck dealerships. Let's go ahead and take a look at what was moving up there. You got GPI that was moving on up. So some of these kind of car companies were bouncing back today. Auto manufacturers, NIO, I know had a good day, was pulling back. Ford also went right back towards the high. We've been trading sideways in Ford. We're looking for that to push to get above that 2075. See if we can get the lift to keep going into 21 and 22 on Ford, as we've kind of got a nice little support touch here that you guys could have gone after. LI, of course, traded up. I think you pay attention to NIO tomorrow and LI. They'll all trade together. Also XPEV. So these trade hand in hand. NIO kind of led the way today, and we'll see if these kind of get moving. GOEV was one of the stocks that kind of in the auto was really starting to push a little bit. So keep your eyes on this one. You can see kind of this hourly flag pushing on up there towards 1150s. DGPI is also another one that I got on watch. I'm still going to keep on watch. It needs to get above 15. But I know a lot of people are piling into this name. So we'll just set that alert at 1490s. And if it gets above there, we'll definitely take that alert and see what happens. All right, so catching up with the chat, what's going on out there? If this is your first time to Money Mitch, we go into sectors, industries, bring you the hot stocks, let you know what is moving out there, what I can see out there for swing trades. A lot of the times, my swing trades actually come from maybe either daily positions that, if for some reason I need to cut it on that day, I will cut it and hit that stop. But a lot of the times, I'm looking for that daily position to become that swing trade and hold overnight. That's the way I like to go about it. But definitely smash the like. Looks like Benjamin's in the house. Tiny Pie Media, EMPH being called out. Nice solar stock. We'll see what happened with that one. See if it got crushed also. The story to watch again. BBIG, Tyler says. Hey, we'll see. I know that one's a big ripper. Definitely one of those kind of Wall Streets. Trade Money. You like the shirt? Hey, I like the shirt too, man. Got to enjoy it. Keep it going, guys. If you guys see a stock you guys want to bring up, definitely throw it in the chat. I know that a lot of things are moving around out there, so we need to pay attention and see what we can get into tomorrow. All right, a little bit later, guys, we're going to be getting into an interview. Yes, I said it, but with a trader, a real trader. So stick around, guys. I got a little secret for you guys. He's been here before, so just a little hint. If anybody can get it right, I'll give you a little swag, You can cheat. I'm not going to tell you how you can cheat, but just go ahead and call it out in the chat. First one to call it out, I'll get you a little swag. All right, let's go ahead. Will ZM Rally. Man, that one's definitely calling out one out there. Let's take a look at Zoom here. I know they had their earnings. Oh, looks like they're getting a little earnings push here up there towards 260. Hey, it looks like there's some brave guys in our chat there. Dino looking for a bounce in Zoom. I mean, if you look at it on kind of the weekly, you are getting towards this support, the support that you got during this period. I drew that support at 240, and it looked like it held it pretty well today. I mean, look how you went kind of sideways there at that 240. Nice little bounce there in ZM. Who knows? Maybe this could be the bottom. I'll definitely hold off of that 240. If it breaks at 240 on the downside, you could see a quick flush through there. But right now, 240s on the downside. Let's see if we get some pullback into 250s tomorrow and see if maybe Zoom can start reversing trend. I know Kathy's out there screaming out, yeah, baby. All right, let's keep going. Let's see what we got out there. Genie tomorrow. Yes, I'm going to be taking a look at Genie. You guys know how I've been in this one. This is one of my longer term plays, so I'm not really concerned about it here. But we'll see what happens when we get the earnings. Of course, Kathy came up in here and started buying up all my Genius. We'll see if she's dip buying today and keeps buying. I did do a calculation for you guys. One of the things is I wanted to give you guys some position, at least some research that I did. So for ARKW, where Kathy has this position, if you calculate her market cap by the shares that she purchased, you can see her average is around 1376, at least from right now. So at least that can keep you in looking at where the stock price is. We wanted to eventually get above that price and see that push. But if we're kind of near there, then you can still kind of look at it as Kathy's probably still buying the dip a little bit here. So we'll pay attention to see if we can get some more buys in Genie, but definitely wanted to give you guys that research that I did. It's around 1376, which would be her average price. And right now you're trading at 1389s on the ask and 1355s on the bids. We'll see what happens with this. Beginner trading. What's going on out there? What are you seeing out there, Tiny? Ready to get back in the body? No, and it's not John. I got you. I got what you were asking. You were asking if it was John from Beginner Trading. No, it isn't. You guys, come on. You guys got to be smarter than that. There's a hint that you can use, but I won't give you guys the answer. All right, let's keep going. Oh, look, there it is. Terrence got it, my man. I don't know if you used a little cheat. You guys could have just looked down at the bottom description. Could have got that. But hey, hit my email up, Mitch@Benzinga. I'll make sure to get you some swag, maybe get you a nice shirt. Unfortunately, we don't have a Benzinga one like this, but I'll do my best to get you some of my own. All right, let's keep going. Yes, we're going to have Gianni up next. Just about 2 minutes. We'll get into that. Let's go ahead and last thing I want to take a look at is some stocks that I did some research on. A lot of times I'll start going like working backwards, like what did work today? Like we got to find some pockets of strength, right? A lot of times we want to find that. So right now you can see defensives, of course, starting to move on up. That's with worries. You see the market going down. But one that I did see was, it's a weird one too, is this recreational vehicle one starting to set up. If you look here on the daily and weekly, I would love to see this stock just push on through. This is Winnebago, WGO, 200-day moving average, 50-day right below it. Nice little setup if it wants to go ahead and take out 75. I got to see it take out 75, but I'm going to take a look at this because I'm looking for pockets of strength when I don't see some stocks kind of moving with the market. I want to take a look at those to see if for some reason they're just moving counter and they can push through here. WGO is one of those. In the same area, CWH, Camping World Holdings. You can see it's above the 200-day, above the 50, and it's looking to push through that high right here. We'll see if it gets through that 45 tomorrow, and who knows, maybe we can see this Camping World take that next level. Another one that I'd give is MBUU, Malibu Boats. Why? Because it has a nice support, gone sideways off this 70. Looks like it's trying to get back towards the 200-day. Keep a watch on all those plays to see if they kind of make that next step up. But that's how I find these plays, guys. A lot of times, who knows? I'm not guaranteed that these can move, but when the setup is nice, I'm going to go ahead and start doing some more research. Look to see if there's any recent catalysts, earnings. Is there any financial analyst reports out? Are there kind of some ratings on these stocks? That's what I would use to try to find the higher conviction one, and then look tomorrow to see if maybe we get that swing. All right, that's going to do it for my swing education here. Up next, we're going to get into an interview. Yes, I said it, guys. Up next, we got Genie. And guess what? He's bringing some hot stocks with him too. So let's go ahead. Let's get right into that. When we return, we'll get into it.
I tell all my CEOs, this is a very, very, very important platform. And look, all the other platforms are important too, but you're up there now. You're way up there.
Best investments you can do in your future is actually go and re-educate yourself on credible sites and credible resources like Benzinga. I think you guys have been killing it.
The comment section on this show is remarkable. Like the quality of the combo, and just big shout out to you and your community.
So I love about you guys, you just had all your callers in right then. And it's all about the community here at Benzinga.
What's going on, traders? Here you guys have it. The guy with the nicer hair has joined the party. Gianni, what's going on, man?
Not much, Mitch. Glad to be here. How you doing?
Hey, all I got to know is that I know that there's a guy named Neil, a part of Benzinga, that's probably jealous of how you getting those locks that pretty. I know he's been working on it. I see him, but the hair gets in the face and things. I'm going to need you to give him some tips. I know you know Neil.
I'll take that up with Neil later, but his flow's pretty mean too. So
can't mess with him. Can't mess with him. Let's go ahead. Let's get right into it. So of course, one of the things is we love to bring on traders that I feel 100% actually trade. So I appreciate you coming back. Giving us ideas. Last time we talked about Tesla, right? We were talking about how potentially maybe we could look for a 1200 pull around, kind of pullback from those levels. And what did we get? Look at that, right by that 1200. We got that pullback, and now it's starting to pop back. I want to hear what you're thinking about this chart, Tesla, and some other plays that you might have out there.
Yeah, for sure. So like you said, when we were on here last time, we talked about how our upside price target for Tesla was between 1200 1250. We rallied into that price zone, and I think it was on a Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening, Elon Musk put out a tweet, should I sell Tesla around these levels? And that's why I sent that over to you. I was like, oh, look, Mitch, it's right on our price objective that we talked about. So probably a good time to reduce longs. And I know that he was watching our show, so that's where he got that price level from. So, but what I think from Tesla is that we're going to see a sideways consolidation now after big moves like this. We pulled back a little bit. We do need to close above that closing high from before in order to break out again, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Tesla go sideways for another 3 to 4 weeks at least. build a nice price base from which it can make another move higher. This is a market leading stock, strong momentum, leading sector, strongest stock within the strongest sector. You were talking about Kathy Wood earlier. All the institutions own this stock, and so long as there's inflows into their funds, they're going to keep buying stocks like Tesla. So if you own, I would hold. But if you don't, I wouldn't chase today. I'd wait until we start to break above that former all-time high before adding back.
Definitely. One of the things that I've been looking for Tesla is, do we ever maybe test this daily kind of gap that we got here? That was down towards 950. Of course, that would get me super excited if we went back into that gap zone. But I could see some sideways consolidation here, and completely agree with you that at the end of the day, I mean, if I wish that if someone had like the data of all the portfolios in the world, and we could see how much is really held by Tesla and how many portfolios, especially in the United States, hold Tesla as a part of their tech holdings. And this is also another reason why I think, in the long run, it's always a losing game to short Tesla, because it's sitting in how many people's portfolios. And what do people a lot of times do? They just have those like kind of reoccurring investments where they're just kind of buying and throwing money at it. And you can't fight a dragon. And I think this is definitely one of those charts that every time it comes back down, it's just a matter of where can I get it? One of the things that I like using for Tesla is using a monthly chart, because a lot of people have a tendency of feeling like Tesla moves too much. But when you see it on the monthly, it actually looks like it doesn't move that much at all. So just one of the tips that I'd give out there for anybody looking to get into a stock like Tesla.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's a steady Eddie uptrend. And, to your point, which is so important to recognize, if people that are dollar cost averaging into their 401ks or IRAs that buy QQQ or SPY, that money's going into stocks like Tesla. So until that stops, the inflows are going to continue.
All right. So what's the next one you want to get at us?
I want to talk about GameStop, because we actually called out a buy on GameStop in our chat room today. And,
all right, let me erase my drawings here. I got a little drawing friendly here. So
so
all right.
we got long today on GameStop, and we're liking a move to retest those highs from earlier in the year at least. So we'll see. We have our stop loss set within 8% or so of our entry, but I mean, we like the idea of another short squeeze in this stock, especially you were talking about how we're starting to see some more volatility. The Fed came out earlier this month and said they're going to start tapering. And what that's going to do is it's going to reduce market liquidity. But it's important to recognize that liquidity works both ways, not just, I should say volatility works both ways, not just to the downside, but to the upside. And so, we could see another short squeeze in GameStop here. And that's kind of what I'm playing on. GameStop did really well when the market showed some volatility earlier in the year. And I'm kind of looking for a repeat of that again. We could definitely see some consolidation in the major indices here, but stocks like this tend to do well when the broader indices taper off and go sideways. So we're looking for another short squeeze in GameStop.
Yeah, actually, was playing AMC on the last pop to 200, and I kept calling it out. GME keeps holding that 200, that 200 level, and once we reclaimed it here, look how strong we started getting. Look how we got this big volume bar to show up. To me, that was a big buyer stepping on up, waiting for that 200 to reclaim. And that's why you're seeing that kind of wick, that buying pressure actually stepped up there. I think someone was taking a bigger position, because if you look at that volume there, you got 11 million. And the day before that, you only got 3.9. It looks like somebody might have been stepping up there. And then today, you actually are starting to come back to that high. Can we take that high out tomorrow? That's 255. And if that can get going, I definitely am going to be paying attention to GME with the market the way it's been.
Yeah, and you pointed out those strong volume bars. Just check out the volume of the last 2 days. Tremendous evidence of accumulation there too. When you start to have volume pop on big up days where we close out near the highs of the day, that's indicative of strong bullish momentum, and it's exactly what we want to see from the long side of a stock.
Yep, relative volume. We always look for that. That's 3 and 4 times the volume in the last 2 days.
Yeah, that's huge accumulation. That's good. More buyers than sellers. That's how stocks rise.
Yep. And one of the things that I do like also is I've been watching, I use a check-in money flow
Nice.
on top on the, and so you could see it kind of dipping below the zero. And finally we just peaked above it, showing us that inflows coming in there. And I'm going to keep a watch on GME. Of course, I'm sure you're probably also keeping a watch on AMC. I feel like they run hand in hand. So if you keep seeing GME rip, keep your eye on it. Who knows? Maybe you
Yeah,
catch a little bit of a laggard trade here.
no, for sure. That was going to be one of my next ideas. Is we were talking about AMC in the chat room today as well. We wanted to see it close above 42.68, but it didn't do that today. So that's going to be on our radar right here in these next couple of days. So same story with AMC. With potential volatility on the horizon, or at least a prolonged consolidation in the major indices. Stocks like this year have done very well when there's been some volatility in the S&P or the NASDAQ or whatever. So we're looking for a short squeeze here. And, I see your Chaikin money flow. That's showing some accumulation taking place. So the AMC, you're right. That's kind of a piggyback trade off the GameStop trade as well.
Yeah, it's one that I keep on watch. When we came back, I actually ended up was looking for this 40 to hold. This was the big important day for me. Once we've held that 40 and we've gone up towards here multiple times, I don't want to see it crack through that 40 on the downside here because it will kind of change the way this whole chart looks. But if it could get through that level and get, let's say, up to 50 in a hurry, man, there's going to be some, let's just say, some articles. Everyone's going to be spinning their heads and being like, is the AMC monster here ripping its head again? And keep it on watch, because if it does get to that 50, I've called out that level because it's so psychological, right? We've seen it get back above there once. If it gets back up there again, I think there's going to be a lot of people probably stuck with that elbow on the buy button. So we'll see what happens with this one. What's another one for us? Last one.
Okay, it's Fluor, FLR.
FLR.
This is a stock that displayed good relative strength today too.
Nice.
Heavy construction. You got a nice price base there. Got a saucer pattern. It's been in a steady uptrend over the last few months, making higher highs and higher lows. Arguably, in the early stages of a bull flag pattern after we had that pop earlier in November. Now we're flagging. So whenever I see a bull flag type of price pattern, I can't help but get excited, because those are some of the most powerful momentum patterns in all of technical analysis. And they're also known as fast technical patterns, and they open the door for large gains in short periods of time. So you put the support and resistance perfectly. We're in this range right now, and if we can close above that upper horizontal trend line acting as resistance, I think we see another move higher. And if you even go back and look further, there's a saying that I didn't come up with, but I love: bigger the base, the higher the space. We're trying to move out of this 6-month consolidation, and we're trying to break above resistance. So that's been in effect for over 6 months. So for this stock, I'm looking at a move at least into the potentially $35, $40 range.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really big if you crack that 25 on the upside move. You have this kind of point right here where you had that quick turnaround. For sure, there were some bulls looking for it to continue there at 25. Then you had that gap down where probably some people got caught. Right now, you probably had some people even selling out in between the zone. If you get some rebuyers through, I think it's going to be looking good. I'll keep this one on watch. What I also like is you got the 200-day below you. So it's at the end of the day, a lot of people can look at this chart, be a little confused on, well, is this really a bullish chart? You saw that gap down. Now you're back above. Use that 200-day. A lot of that is going to help you at least determine, hey, is this bullish or bearish? A lot of technical traders will always tell you, you can just start by the 200-day. Look at that. And then from there, you can move on and start taking more of an analysis.
The trend is your friend. So the 200 days sloping upwards, that's a good step in the right direction.
Definitely. At the end of the day, trend trading is what I think is what it's all at. Especially when we're talking swing trading. I made this thumbnail all about swing trading. And when you're on swing trading, the trend is 100% your friend. And when it starts cracking, that's when it's time to get on out. And take the popcorn when it's good, because at the end of the day, one of the things that I've noticed in swing trading, and maybe you can give us some insight into yours, how it works. I've always noticed that you'll have these moments where you're getting that wave on up, And a lot of times, sometimes, and it's not even your stock, it could be the market turning around. Right now, we're paying attention to that. So if we get a quick dip in the SPY, sometimes your swing trade, even though it looks perfect, next thing you know, the market can bring it back down, and you got to get out. So you got to know the rotation game is so important.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, you never want to get caught holding the bag. The last thing you want is a 7-8% loss to turn into a 30% loss because you were reluctant to sell out. So if you want to last in this game, you got to take your small losses like paper cuts instead of a more deeper wound. So you don't need to be right even half the time to still be a profitable trader. So your winners just have to outweigh your losers, and if you do that enough times, you're gonna make a good living in this business.
Definitely. You guys heard that. You don't need to even be 50% right to be into the green, as long as you have great risk management and know how to attack the right charts and stick to that profit to loss ratio, which is always important. Keep the probability on your side, because that's what trading is about. We can always make like little calls here and there. I'll swing into some meme name or maybe take a crypto, but always when it comes back down to your bread and butter, and we always need to have our bread and butter, we want to just stick to that risk and return, keep the probability in our favor, and understand that, hey, like, we could lose 3 times, 5 times in a row. As long as we continue to stick to the system, it's going to bring us back, because that's what execution is all about, because you did the hard work making the system. Now it's time to stick to it.
Yeah, last comment on that is, listen to the market. If you're getting stopped out a few times in a row, don't rush back into a new position. Cash is a position as a trader, and if the market is going down and you're in cash, you're actually up because it enables you to buy back at lower prices. So just listen to the market, and when it plays a hand, you don't get to pick what you're being dealt. So that's what I would do.
Hey, well, thank you, Gianni. Where could they go ahead and find you? Not on Money Mitch. When you're not here, where could they find you?
Benzinga Breakouts.
Hey, well, if you want to get that Benzinga Breakouts, look in the description down below. There's a little bit of a discount code also there for you. Check it out, guys. If you guys want to get some of these trade ideas, you guys can do so yourself. Thank you for joining me, Gianni.
Thanks, Mitch. Pleasure as always. We'll catch you next time.
Hey, 2 weeks from now, you're coming back. I'm already putting it on the calendar. We'll see you. All right, guys, that's what it's all about, bringing other traders that kind of go at it in the process. And that's what it's about. You notice how we don't have the same trading style, but one thing that we do have is an understanding that we're going to come about it in our way, our process that we worked at it. And like you mentioned, he's using different indicators, looking at the volume. It's a combination of things, not only one variable that we like to approach. And that's why I also like Gianni, is that he's not calling out just one thing like, oh, it's in a flag pattern, so we're just going to go long. No, I mean, he's calling out a bunch of things, analyzing the charts in the way that I like to go about it, because there's not one answer. If it was one answer, I'd give it to you guys. I'd be like, yeah, just load the boat. It's long. Sit back, relax, drink some Mai Tais. No, but this is not how it is, guys. You got to keep working at your process and also evaluate. Right now is a perfect time to look back at your trading in 2021 and realize, where were your strengths, where were your weaknesses, and where can you make improvements? Write it down on a journal. This is worth it to you, but only going to be worth it if you're willing to put in the work. I'll see you next time on Money Mitch. Put it in there. Put the work. I promise you, you'll see it come back out, but you got to put in the time. We'll see you next time on Money Mitch. Keep it going. And like always, guys, the market's tough. So the only thing you can do is work on those skills and keep improvement. It's time for Money Making Mitch. When investors need a story, we're going to the moon. Welcome to Money Mitch, where story is everything. I'm here to find you the next opportunity. It's all about the green hands. Now, we all know the bull market is here to stay. Money Mitch.